Hey guys, I'm
Hello.
Faye.
And I'm Jossie.
You know us well, but we are here for a brand new, I suppose, episode / just going live for the shits and giggles.
Exactly.
So, I keep getting asked, I think 20, 30, 40 million times in the past couple of years of why I transitioned. First of all, people think when I say to them, because I feel like it's like my coming out story, right? So I'd be like, oh, I'm transgender. And they're like, oh, have you always felt like a guy? Like, so they'll think I'm going the other way. Yeah, I get like, it's like so stupid.
Are you turning into a man?
Yeah, and I'm like,
no, it was
no,
the
other way around. And they're like, oh, you're so brave.
So beautiful, so brave.
So beautiful. All the bees. Brave, beautiful, ballsy.
Well, it does take balls to be a trans woman.
Well, yeah, but out of choice, I wouldn't have been a trans woman.
So this is what I kind of wanted to start my little spiel off with. So, being transgender, it's not a choice. We didn't choose to be transgender, but we chose to transition. That is a choice that we made. And maybe in this video, we kind of want to talk about why we made that decision, because you could have decided not to transition and just try living life in the gender you were assigned at birth. I could have done the same, but there's a reason why Faye transitioned and I transitioned.
And it's not what you think. I wasn't like pining over my sister's Barbies. She didn't have any. I wasn't, one day wearing my mum's heels and like summer dresses. Like my mum wore jeans. Like she wore jeans and she's like, your mum, well,
my
probably's less. Probably just like a boiler
my
suit.
mum's a tomboy, so really there was no opportunity for me to dress in girls' clothes. I would say that I was very typical of somebody with gender dysphoria. I did play with dolls. All my friends were girls. All that behaviour was quite consistent from a really young age.
What, and did you have like boyfriends, girlfriends? Or did you have a girlfriend? Did you have a boyfriend?
No, I've never had a girlfriend.
So you never kissed a girl?
I've never kissed a girl.
Wow, let's do that now. Yeah, I get that, right?
But everyone's different.
I did.
Thing, so
I had a girlfriend.
We're different.
I've been very brave, I would say, because it was an unusual experience. But I've kind of done it all. I played football. I did all that stuff. What changed it for me? And this may only be me, because I could just be a one-off.
It's your personal story.
Was the actual experience sexually. So it was almost like, there's like a list of things that happen between a man and a man when they go to bed on most occasions. Go down, doggies. And I just, we got to like, I don't know, bullet point number 3, and I was like, I don't want to do that. And then what I started to notice as well, because I started to feminize myself, wear makeup, and try to be more comfortable. I felt more comfortable identifying like that, like very female, very in the role of a woman. And then as soon as it came to almost like the guy jobs, I was just like, oh no. And it didn't make me, it totally turned me off. So it was the polar opposite to what I think the generic transgender story is. Oh yeah, they've always been feminine. I was always feminine, but I kind of accepted, I was just a gay guy, like, that's fine, I'm okay with that. And I would have probably made, like, an absolute ace.
Drag queen.
Yeah, probably. Not Othello Versace. Come through. But that wasn't the case. It was totally about how I felt sexually, because sex was quite important to me. And the fact that I didn't feel what all the lads were talking about. I was like, oh.
You would have felt different to the other boys.
Yeah.
That was kind of my thing. So when I was younger, I always just felt different. I didn't feel the same as any other boy around me. And I kind of thought that maybe I would grow into it. With girls, all of my friends were girls. Well, most of my friends were girls.
Oh, wait there. Is anyone watching? Can we just share?
Yeah. Share,
Please share, like, and comment. Just to get it around. It'll be uploaded later, but just try and get it around so we can get more views. Sorry.
So, even with the girls, I still wasn't really part of that gang, so I always felt that I never really fitted in anywhere.
You wanted to play with the girls, not play it with the girls. Yeah?
Yeah, so play with the girls as one of the girls.
But not playing with the girls.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Okay.
So, as I was getting older, obviously you're perceived, so you would have been perceived at a time of your life as being male, and a bit like yourself, I just wasn't comfortable with that because.
Did you ever get told in school off? I did of a teacher, oh, just be gay, like just it's fine, just be gay, and I was
I
like,
can do one better
what?
than that. So, true story. When I was about 17, 18, that's when my transition started. I seen a psychologist, and she told me that, why don't I just be a priest? Because I don't have to marry, and I can wear a dress. That would probably not happen nowadays. That is what happened to me. Obviously, I did not take that advice. I'm not going to be a priest. But that is like something that I was told that, like, try and be gay. I kind of did try it for a year, I would say. Yeah, didn't like it. So...
But why didn't you like it? What was... Because for me, it really was the girls... Hi, Faye, Louise and Jossie. Hey, Ryan, please share a video in some groups. We want to get some views tonight. It's our kind of first one back in a while. I felt so much more better when I was even just identifying a little bit female. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't like putting dresses on. That was my sister when I was 9-year-old, shoved us in a dress and shoved us outside and wouldn't let us back in the house. Stupid yellow dress. Felt like an idiot. Should have felt like a princess. Did not feel like a princess. I felt comfortable when I was like wearing like gold. Do you remember gold digger trousers?
Oh my God,
and like Playboy vest.
Yeah,
if I had like a little handbag. That for me personally, was me making that step, and as soon as I made that step, I was no longer a gay guy.
So I call that stage, because I think a lot of trans people do this, because Faye kind of went through the stage, and so did I. I call that a bit of a genderqueer phase, where you're kind of saying goodbye to the boy and welcoming the girl. But the way that a lot of people do it, because everybody transitions differently, some people do need to kind of ease the way into it. I certainly did. You were probably a little bit quicker on things, because that's
do you remember the boy? I really struggle now. You know, like when I look back, I feel like I'm remembering a memory of someone else. Like, it's so bizarre, and I look back and I'd be like, oh, that was me, that was cool. And it's almost like a distorted memory. I'm obviously a time traveller.
Yes, she is.
Because I'm X-Men.
I think because we transitioned at quite a young age... You should
share this on your phone, you know, just while we're just chatting.
Because we transitioned at quite a young age, we never really grew into men. You never had, like...
Oh, I grew into men, darling. Well,
yeah, we grew into men, but you didn't become a man as such. You managed to transition.
Oh, that is true. People will say it to me, and I know they've said it to you, like... So,
I'm Sharon, by the way, I'm not being ignorant.
So, have you changed your voice?
Oh my
God, and I'm like...
Yeah.
So, like, I wasn't, like, one day, like, oh, read. Like, I did not do that. But also, I wasn't, like, really calm. I've always just kind of spoke like me.
Yeah. Do you remember when you would have went for speech therapy, what it was like?
Yeah, speech therapy. But the main reason...
people do need it, but...
Yeah, but the main reason I chose to transition...
Yeah, that's what we're talking
and didn't decide to kind of just live my life out or hide behind certain things was because I felt like I wouldn't really get anywhere. And I knew there was just going to be this, like, barrel of, like, unhappiness. So I knew as soon as I could change, then I could change. Not there.
It doesn't where the live is. It's not on my phone.
Oh, someone tag Jossie in the live.
Tag us in my own live.
Yeah, so then we can share it. What do you guys think? Like, do you know anyone? Have you got friends that have transitioned for different reasons or similar to us? Or have you ever thought, like, what were you thinking? Like, Jossie transitioned because Jossie was just a woman. Like that. If I was to say that you were just a girl. I transitioned really for sexual ambitions because I was not getting anything I wanted out of that kind of part of the relationship. And I remember the stage when I was like, boobs, and you get so many names I could drop, so many names in many areas. And it's like, they see you as something completely magical, I think, like a mermaid. But then, you turn into a full-on fledged... Oh, it's like you lose your shine. It's so bad. Yeah. It's like someone comes over and it's like, oh, can I get an like out of date badge for this person. This
You passed
fucker
it.
literally struggles to date. Me, I kidnap people. So I'm like, it's really nice to meet you. Do you want to move in? Like, I'm really good at that. Really get them in fast. And I make them feel like they're invaluable. Like, first few months, I'm cooking, cleaning. I'm like, oh, this, or that. Book this, do that, look this. 3 years in, where is he? On his way home. He wants to hurry up and get back because those dishes need done. So for me, God, I totally went off subject. Where did I go there?
You kind of went on about relationship. That'll probably be another video that we will be doing soon, but this is about your reasons for transitioning. I kind of do think, though, because you are a woman and there is a femininity to you, so...
Well, I hope so.
Uh-huh. So, like, as you just said, Jossie transitioned because Jossie was a girl.
Mm.
In all that, what you were going through, was a girl there? But we come
No,
to it at different
because-
parts. But I would never say that I was a little girl.
like the
though.
whole like concept of obviously being transgender, and like being, like, the reality of it, is almost turns itself on its head because, for me, I wouldn't have done this if I didn't have to. I felt I needed
Mhm.
to transition. This wasn't me like, oh well, everything's gonna be great one day. It was like, oh no, I can't live like this.
Mhm.
If I could have just lived out a great happy life, like far from this one, like I really would have.
Well, so would I.
And everyone's like, so sometimes I think the life I'm living now is just a constant hard battle, work at it, because there's never really an imperfection. If I was to go back now to the 13-year-old me and know what I know now, I'd be like, don't take hormones, don't worry about down there, because in 2020 you can be a man with a beard, a skirt on, a wig, and you're validated, because that is what happens so much. Validation gets there. And I probably would have turned back now and been like, don't be in such a rush, because I was like, shit, get this done.
Yeah.
I was like, get this done. I was out and go to London, buy seas later, come back, got long hair. I was on like the mission to get it done. And sometimes I think if I had slowed down, I would have probably been a more of a settled person right now, rather than I feel like sometimes I'm catching myself up. Because realistically, why I transitioned was to be a woman. Have I ever really been able to get to be a woman? Pfft. I'm still bloody working. I'm still exhausted. I'm still catching up. I don't have this great, like when you like meet work people or friends and you're like, oh, I had such a great childhood. Like I was like a little princess. I have none of that. Like people are like, so have you got any kids? I'm like, yeah, hidden my uterus that I don't have. Thanks for asking. I don't get offended,
Oh yeah, I'm never.
but I'm just like, bitch, please, like no. And it irritates us because I wanted a transition for me.
Mhm.
And I feel like it's ended being me transition for everyone else.
Really.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Do you ever just sit back and go, oh, never. There's never a time that you sit back and you think, yeah, I'm a total girly whirly, twirly whirly. You'll see, there's always some barrier, some issue, mental health flare up. You've just been outed. You're getting stood up. You meet someone who says, let's have a relationship that lasts like 22 hours. We know who I am. And it's like disappointing. Yeah. So why I transitioned was completely the construct of I wasn't happy as that person in my real life and in my intimate life, and that bothered me. I transitioned and I was like, yeah, I was meant to be fair. I was meant to be a girl. I have excelled more than I have ever excelled as my former gender. Massively, in my opinion, is because of the journey. Mm-hmm. I don't believe I would have been as tough and as like
I agree
resilient
with that one. What?
and as focused. Like I look at friends and I'm like, God, you're like 21, you've got a kid, what are you doing? Because when I was 21, I was like, fuck, get sorted. It's like I'm 32 now. I've never had a break, really. Like, ever really had a break, unless I was grinding the old guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the truth, though. And we all know who you are. And I just think, what a shame, because why I wanted to transition was for, like, this great reason, and life's going to be so much better. And it was for a bit. and then it just turned into a bit of a chore for like everyone out there who's like, I used to be like surgery first, blah blah blah, and I still have that mentality. Like, in my opinion, if you don't have full surgery and you want the same entitlement as a woman, it's an icy one for me.
It is.
It is an icy one, and I don't think that's a bad opinion because I don't begrudge anyone who states that they're a woman and accept X, Y, Z, but I begrudge it if they try and stand next to me. Because I'm like, excuse me?
Because of the journey that
Did
you've
you
been
do
through.
my journey? Because I don't go stand next to a cis woman and be like, girl, and like just the same way as we wouldn't go and stand next to someone from different backgrounds, religious, or disabilities, and be like, girl, like, oh, I totally, you do not
unless
at
you've
all
been on that path, you're not gonna know what
recognize or sympathize, and they never will.
Yeah.
Why I transitioned was for me to have a more happier life because I was very miserable, and because of my journey, I have excelled loads. Would I have chosen this journey?
Oh no,
No.
I would say for me, I transitioned to be free, so I could just be myself without without people labeling me. I would say I'm I'm fortunate, and so is this lady beside me, but we don't really get misgendered that much. It's not like a daily thing.
No.
And
Unless I got the flu.
I would say that I've transitioned very successfully in a lot of respects. In the way that society could view me, yeah, I've transitioned really well. I work a full-time job.
Different in backgrounds though. Your background growing up and my background growing up, similar but very different in like the stability you've been given is different. Do you know what I mean? Continue. Sorry.
So, but that was my thing. So, to kind of be free of a label, even though there is a label attached to me, that label is in my life is over there. That's the other label.
Diva.
It is over there. I say that being transgender, it doesn't define who I am. I just am transgender. But see me as Jossie, see me as a woman. I'm sounding like Nikki's tutorial.
God,
style.
wait there.
Like, I haven't changed from the person you knew before,
got
okay?
something to say. I've been wanting to get this off my chest for so long, and
Are you sure you want to do this?
I want to be able to have the control of my own journey. That is a load of crock and shit. That is rehearsed, pre-recorded on most occasions, and it's just a bit like, that's not coming out. That's a great publicity. That's a great publicity stunt. Where's the truth behind the journey? Like, because we are going to start doing so many more videos like this, because we got
just real talk.
Real talk. Oh my god, I love the title. Let's call it Real Talk. And it frustrates us because I see all these people who are getting like real validation and almost just ticking a couple of boxes, where the journey we've both been on, the reasons behind you transitioning, me transitioning, you do feel free now, but still quite trapped.
Oh yeah.
I do feel. I feel exhausted.
Well, there is that.
I always feel exhausted, but it's really exhausting being me.
Are you happy that you transitioned?
Yes, completely happy with that
So that's
transition.
all that matters.
There is never a regret.
Yeah, as long as.
But
it's
the thing is as well that people, I suppose, never really, because it's not in my bio. But if it was a case of like, there was a graph of like 1 to 10 of fully transitioned, not fully, I'm probably on 10 because I have had
it's 10. Fully transitioned.
everything.
Yeah.
No, Adam, everything is being done on my body. Where you're probably a 9.5.
Oh, charming, thank you.
Well, there's certain aspects of the part of your body that you're really happy with that is different from me. Not an issue. And then there's like the Richter scale, like 3.5, beard, swimsuit, balls hanging out, asking to go in the gym.
Okay.
And it's like annoying now. And I'm going to shut up because she looks like she's going to hit us. I think I've offended her. But there was no offence meant. It is just a case
I've
of...
also been through the same journey that that phase been through. And I would say that I have also fully transitioned. I've been through
For what you're comfortable with, correct?
for what I'm comfortable with, yeah.
So
but
like I
think
didn't have
the
any.
thing-
I've had no like. So for me, the stuff I could still get done, but I
So
feel
then
like
you feel it a 10, so I feel it a 10 as well.
I know I was just giving you my opinion.
Alright, okay.
I wasn't making a statement.
Right, okay.
Look at this girl, fucking kicking off at us. So yeah, okay, so fair enough. Even we disagree. So I disagree with that,
Right, okay.
and you disagree with my opinion, and that's fine. Hello, ladies. Lovely to see you both again. Oh, hi. Has anyone got any questions, by the way? Obviously, while we've been talking, me and her do... This is the thing as well, because I think everyone think me and you are, like, the bestest friends. And we are. But we bump heads.
Oh, God, massively.
So much. Like, over so many different things. But it's just personalised, because I think of things that would benefit and have benefited me. And I always try and almost, I'd say, advise, she'd say, pressurize for aspects to be done. Like, I've had friends before, and I used to, like, Rachel, for instance, and I was like, you need to go to voice coaching. But she would say, like, oh, I'm really happy how I am. And I could not get my head around it. Because I was like, but how, you're going to be perceived a certain way by society. And that was I couldn't be bothered to be perceived. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to kind of crack on, if you know what I mean. Oh, there's... Are you offended, Jossie? You went really quiet.
I would also say that I have also fully transitioned. I've been through everything that I need to go through.
Correct.
To have a full transit to what we would call, we're probably skirting around a little bit. So by a full transition, we mean surgery. Let's just be real.
But where?
Well, you said that you've had everything done.
But I wasn't just... See, this is
So
the
what
thing.
is everything?
Oh, God, the list.
So what is everything? 'Cause
Okay,
that's
so
what
everything is Adam's apple, boobs, genitalia. I would class the hair removal as a bit of surgery because it's a fucking long process.
So painful.
Ladies, you all know, guys, you all know. Love you both. Oh, hi, Sasha. And it's obviously like ankle surgery.
Yeah, it's that ankle surgery.
No, but surgeries I would have. Like, I would have had my hands done. I hate my hands. I don't like my hands.
Yeah.
But I don't cry about it.
Well, yeah. So that's what we're saying there about the full transition. What phase mean and what I mean, and so we're not skirting around it, is meaning being post-op, having breast surgery, having genital surgery. I wouldn't say the Adam's apple if you don't need it.
But she's really slimmer than I am, and I'm quite bigger, so mine was quite predominant. Like, I just didn't like the feel of mine. I think that was it for me. If I could feel it and see it, I hated it. And that's what was so in my head. That's why everything happened so quickly for me. But I don't think now, I feel like now is quite good that people aren't rushing into it.
It's interesting.
But don't not rush into it and think you can grab the same things that I have because I think if there was like you're a captain, you're a supervisor, blah blah blah, I'd be a captain. I would be. Yeah, I'd be I'd be a captain. You'd be a captain. People that would be captains, people that would be supervisors, and it's almost like because we get so much like backlash because of seeing things like that. But like, oh look how shaky we are. We're on a boat. We're not. And I don't think it's bad that my opinion is that, because at the end of the day, I'm not saying, hey, you haven't had surgery, you minga. I'm just saying, oh, that's fine. But for my opinion, I don't feel that you can grab the same almost card of like, this is my journey.
Everyone's journey.
It's exactly the same. Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone's journey is different, but a lot of people that are decided to not do certain things we've done are saying, "Oh yeah, exactly the same."
Won't know what it's like.
No, they won't know.
God, we could do a whole other show about surgery and what surgery is like. Oh, hey, we're back.
Please don't ring me while I'm on this bloody live.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I mean, we do get a lot. I mean, I can't help it, but you know when I see someone's going like, oh yeah, I'm a woman, blah, 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 and they've got like a beard or... It's like, well, yeah, okay, that's fine, like, that's your opinion, but that's the, like, poster... How ridiculous. That's the poster boy that irritates me. It's like, people are like, oh, there's not much representation, which is another thing that pisses us off.
There's
so much representation
right now.
And for me, I want to know why other people are transitioned, why other people just gone inappropriately steal your thunder and say your bridesmaid dress is here, soz not soz. Oh my god, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. I'm gonna be a bride. See? I could never have been a bridesmaid. I would have had to have been a best man.
It's the only reason to transition.
But no, because we've explained why we transitioned and our reasons, and also what we think now is kind of still relevant and quite similar to what we think thought previously. I mean, there was lots of different things that we didn't agree with, but we didn't agree with because we didn't understand it. We didn't agree with it because it was so hard to allow other people to take our identity and shine bright with it. When it was like, well, hang on a second, you haven't even been on our journey. So why don't you just take your own identity, whatever your label you want to be, then grab a hold of it? Like, when people are like, I'm a heterosexual woman, and this is my partner, and we have sex together, and he does me and I do him. And I'm like, fuck off. You're in a relationship with someone who's into trans people, or ladyboys, or is secretly gay and this is how he gets away with it in his mind. You should just be proud of that. Like what I used to be. I was like, yeah, in a relationship. People were like, oh, is he straight or gay? And I was like, well, he's with me, girls. He's in everything.
Yeah,
and it's like, people are ashamed. And I don't think it's the girls, by the way. I think it's the guys being like, oh, no,
right,
no.
Okay, well, I've just zoned into what she was talking about there. So we're now talking about... Are we talking about men dating trans women?
Yeah, and
right, okay.
But what I'm talking about is men dating trans women, and then those trans women trying to say, oh, well, this is our heterosexual relationship. And I'm like, but you're giving him anal as well?
Oh, if she's pre-op.
Yeah.
Right. Just to be clear, right?
Yeah,
okay,
so if he's pre-op, she's pre-op, and him,
Uh-huh.
and...
Both being in that situation, babes.
But being in that situation, you should be in that situation, you should be like, there should be not another label, you should just be allowed to be that.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have to be another label, it should just be like, you know what, this is
agree.
me. But it's when they're like, no, I'm a transgender woman, and I'm like, well, that's really hard for me to just take on, because I don't believe you've personally had like 3 major surgeries where like you've had disasters, prolapses, nearly died, blood transfusions, another type of gender surgery to correct, like, just so many different things. And that's why when some people go like, how dare you try and say you're a woman? Well, I've probably been through a lot of woman stuff that other women have been through. Like prolapses, which we're going to do a video on soon, and dilation. So stay tuned for that. But it's like, that irritates me when I see, even in the paper, when it's like, oh, so I was with this guy and he wouldn't accept my female penis. And I'm like, what?
Shall I say it or shall you?
I don't know.
Penis isn't female.
No, I don't believe a penis is female. I really don't.
I'm loving this. I'm just getting it all out of her.
Excuse me, it's like an interview. I love it. No, it's not.
No, the penis.
Okay, I'll say this. My partner wouldn't be with me right now if I was post-op.
Exactly. And the men that
How dare he disgust me, blah, blah, blah. No, because I'm a heterosexual woman, so I want to be with someone. So I didn't really love anyone I was with before I had surgery downstairs, because I knew what it was, and it was fine to go through that, because I was like, yeah, getting all the dick, so are they. But I was getting my kicks, and I was a sexually driven person, remember? So it kind of made sense. Yeah. Then when I fully transitioned, I wanted the maddest man. Do you know what I mean? It was like,
that's what I'm looking for.
And it's like, it just it makes us cringe.
Mhm.
That now people are like, we're in relationships. This is my straight boyfriend, and I'm like, oh, is this the one? Oh, the one on Instagram is really good at deep throating. Do you know what I mean? And then they're like, oh yeah, that's the one. And I'm like, huh,
Yeah.
that's not it. That's not it. That's not bad though. This is the thing, because I'll be taken out of context. That's not bad.
No. This is kind of my thing with the whole trans dating thing and people dating trans people. Nobody, and I mean nobody, should ever be forced to be attracted to
Anyone.
anyone. But what trans people are saying is there's nothing wrong in loving a trans person. Why can't we just shout that instead of forcing people? And if you love us, you love us, and if you don't, you don't, because that's not the one for
Well,
me.
there's bad eggs in every.
And exactly,
You know
there
what I
is
mean?
bad eggs. My dating history recently is, God, that's like a series in itself.
Shocker.
Like,
Shocker.
and I'm kind of going through that right
China. Sorry.
now.
Sorry.
And I'm kind of going through that right now. But my whole thing as well is, like yourself, when I've been dating, I'm attracted to men, I'm attracted to straight men, and straight men are attracted to me, but I have to tell them that I am trans, and I always do, like, lead with it.
Love where you just went there. Do you tell the person you're dating you're trans the first time you meet them, get to know them a little bit, and are you intimate? Because personally, we've been all over the place with that one.
We've been all over the place with that
We've
one.
been a bit naughty,
I
we've been a bit
think
good, and she been fucking terrible.
All I'm going to say is, been there, done that. Might do it again, probably did do it again. Shouldn't do it, did do it, but then once I'm done, I'm done.
Yes, I agree.
Um,
My opinion on that is,
your opinion?
I believe get to know someone, not intimately, mentally. Get to know the person, get to know his surroundings, get to know you safe. For the first thing, be safe.
Yeah.
Because you can get to know someone without going back to the bedroom. You can get to know someone just by... Just hold on, darling.
I am.
You can get to know someone just by going to different places with them, just chatting with them. And like, with my partner, I'd been dating him for about a week, and I told him, and yeah, he was really okay with it. But you know, if he wasn't, next. Sorry.
It's not even thank
Love
you.
him to death. It
Just
would be like, you know what, next, that's totally fine. I am not going to lose sleep over it, but you know what? There's times that you do. And that's the times I have been with like people and told them and like had major panic attacks. Oh my god, he's going to attack us. Because I predominantly, of course, only go for the heterosexual straight man who can be quite nasty. But I would never have done anything sexual. And I think anyone I've ever told has always really respected the fact that I didn't even kiss some people because I just respect their sexuality and their mental health and how they will be affected by it over than my sexual devious needs. But it's the truth. I really do respect them definitely before myself. And you know, if you're not willing to do that, shame on you. I know we've been there, but we've learned. But shame on you.
Yeah, shame on you. So, my kind of whole take on that, for me, it's kind of about context. You should always tell them that is what it ultimately should lead to. But it's where you're meeting people. So I think if you're, say, online, it's totally safe to do it online. Come out to them online because there's a good chance they're going to Google you, they're going to look for your Facebook.
Google us, Google us.
Find out. So just let them know. But in the real world, because I've been in that situation in the real world where I may have been seeing someone, and I'm not going to lead with that I'm transgender, but I will let them know, because you have to tell them, you have to. I just don't, I would never be comfortable not telling someone because it's a part of you, and then
True.
if that person doesn't accept it, it just means that that person is not for you. And like we keep saying, next. It's not even thank you, it's just next.
Do you begrudge someone who is like, oh, that's not for me, sorry? Are you like, you know the only thing I've ever felt is like,
Yeah, it's more
devastating
frustration.
sometimes. It's like,
more
oh.
really, like, sometimes you do feel as if you're coming up against a brick wall, but
And sometimes you can really like them as well.
oh yeah, that when you like them. Ugh,
Oh, it's so
horrible.
sad.
Yeah. She's just doing stuff on social media.
I'm
and
sharing.
like,
No,
"What's
I'm
she
still
doing?
talking.
What's she doing?
I just feel for everyone that's joining, of course, why we transitioned is the main reason that we're here. But it's also kind of like why everyone else decided to be who they wanted to be. Like,
well, yeah, that's another important
why
one.
you gotta be you?
Exactly, because people come out at different ages. So you were saying before you wish that you had slowed it down. I was thinking to myself, oh wow, that's a bit weird, because I wish that I'd sped things up a little bit, because although we kind of started our transition around the same age, you did finish your transition before me, so I lived in that pre-op stage a year or two longer than Faye did. And I know it's only a year or two, but I do sometimes think to myself, I wish this had happened differently and it had happened a bit quicker. But that is my story, and then I do sometimes think to myself, well, you were quite young when you did all this.
Sorry. No, continue.
And this is another thing I want to just say to people as well. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Your story is your story, and it's personal to you, and you should celebrate that. You shouldn't think, oh, well, this person has got this before me, or this person has that, because it just...
Does it really matter, though? Does it?
But it's not healthy to think like that.
Sorry, guys, I'm just adjusting this because...
Yeah, because we need a charge.
We need a charger, and we're going to get it probably if I...
Wait, I've been put me like... Oh, God, so close and personal now.
Oh, it's not going to even charge because it's the wrong way. Oh, wait there. No. Move your legs, darling.
Where do?
Just move your legs up. Sorry, guys. So we're going to come back anyway. This is so funny. I love it. 3 seconds. Oh, she's back.
Right, we need to kind of reposition now.
Yeah, she's back.
Right, I'll let you do that.
So, yeah, so the whole, like, tell people. Would you want to be told?
But it's who you tell as well. So, in dating context, yeah. But in everyday life, no. You don't have to tell the person at the supermarket. You don't have to. You don't have to. Only if you feel comfortable. Only if you feel comfortable. That is my advice to all you people out there.
If you feel comfortable, what do you mean by that?
If you feel comfortable to share your story, or to share like us, like we're doing now, sharing your reasons for transitioning, or just letting somebody know that you are transgender. But that could go for so many things. Like, people have mental health problems which they don't want to discuss. You don't have to tell people straight away. Like, don't ever feel pressurized. And yeah, we're doing this today, but because we want to. But we've been doing this show for quite a long time, and this is the first time that I think me and Faye have ever just kind of really been us. But
we've had loads of input by emails over the past 6 months.
Oh, yeah,
about what we need to do with the show and what people wanted to see. And people said real videos, chatting about real things.
And we agreed.
Reading comments was another thing. You are, at the end of the day, walk different paths in life and different times. We'll be proud of your journeys. Yeah, no, but what... so our journeys are so different, me and Jossie. Like,
yeah, we went down the same road, but
blisters, definitely blisters, and we definitely took different paths. But what is so sad is when you see your own sister, this sex muffin. I mean, if I was gay, I'd be like all over her, not being able to fully excel like she really knows she can because of the wrong people, and that's all about choices. Thank you. Love her.
Hashtag choices.
And as I did, because I was in such a hurry, like, I made all the mistakes that I think Jossie's just been making over the past couple of years.
Yes.
Earlier, and Jossie's now doing them, which is funny to watch.
We had this conversation the other day, and it comes back to when each transitioned, and you were saying how you felt differently in your life after being post-op.
Oh, yeah,
so
definitely.
I will say to people, since I had my gender reassignment surgery, my life changed, and it changed for the better. But I'm still navigating through that, and I'm now...
Yeah, but I get pissed off when you tell people you're trans, and then they just ignore you like a dickhead. I'm like, she's just totally opened up. Yeah, it's fair enough because you're not bothered. But wouldn't it be nice if it was like, oh, I'm sorry about that. That's not a problem.
One thing though, so because I'm not on any dating apps now, I deleted them all. I'm so glad I did. But when I was on them, I was really open about it. And what I actually found surprising was the amount of guys that actually were understanding or appeared to be understanding. It's changed in the past 5 years to what I think it would have been like 5 years ago. But so this is another thing, like the whole dating apps, dating online. When I was pre-op, I would never have been on a dating app. And when I was pre-op, I had 2.5, I don't know, 2.5 relationships, I don't know.
2.5 relationships
there was
going
two that
strong.
kind of went, one between. But it's weird.
No, Jesse, nobody knows what that means, one between. No, nobody knows what that means.
And then when I wasn't with him, I was with somebody else. And when I wasn't with him, I was back with the other one. That was horrible. I never want to go back to that. But since being post-op, I haven't had a boyfriend as such since being post-op. The closest thing I have was I kind of started a relationship again with somebody who I knew when I was pre-op and had a bit of a relationship with him. So that is where we're probably on, we have gone down different paths with that. But I'm working through that. And like Faye says, what did you say?
Sorry, I'm just reading comments as well. So Bill is all about feeling safe. And this is the whole feeling validation and being visible and being safe in any environment, whether it be dating or friendship, or like, for heaven's sake, you could even just bump into the wrong friends. Like I did. Like, I bumped into the wrong people years ago and ended up losing most of my teeth because they kicked us all over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
I've had money stolen from us.
Oh, so much money.
House. Oh, it's horrible. It is horrible.
It's really sad that people feel like because we are different, we are vulnerable. But you know what, bitches?
Yeah.
I ain't fucking vulnerable. I am a little bit of an independent princess, but
A little bit, you are massive.
I would love for other non-identifying trans people, fully transition, non-transition, to have a little bit of more of our mentality, because it's not about not being who you are, it's about being really safe. And we hear so many stories, and it's so bad because we're like, oh, it never happens to us. And the reason being is, I think we're very, very aware of our environment, and that's what's lacking in society. People have become over-sensitive
massive
about everything. What's everyone's opinion on that? Do we live in a society of sensitivity? Because I think we do.
It's far too sensitive.
I believe when I first met her, she was on the verge of becoming like those people.
Oh yeah, they kind of.
And then she met me.
They could have. They would never have.
They wouldn't have got her. They wouldn't have got her.
Because my brain's always been my brain, and this was the thing. I was starting to realise, some things within the trans community that I just was like, no. And then thinking back to what it was like kind of when I started and when Faye would have started, and my God, it is so much more complicated nowadays than what it was 12, 13, 14...
Oh, yeah, massively.
100 years ago. Like, the wait times are ridiculous now.
I have never, ever known... This is why, obviously, a lot of the things that we hear now, and the struggle is real, as everyone keeps saying, but I've never known of the wait, of the crazy wait times. Like, it was bad.
Oh,
it was a long
bad.
time.
You would wait, like, 6 months to 8 months from your first GP appointment to your first appointment at the gender clinic. And back then I thought, oh my God, this is just forever. But now you're talking like 48 months for some people. That is insane. It just creates bigger problems. She's just going through all the comments.
What bigger problems do you think it creates, though?
So it creates, obviously being transgender is about your identity and how you live in the world. And there's a lot of trans people, trans men, trans women, who don't fit society's norms of what a woman looks like and a man looks like before they get any hormones and stuff, and maybe they do need them hormones if they're wanting to.
Oh my God, I wouldn't look like this if I didn't have hormones.
But what the gender clinic want now, my understanding, this is in the UK, is that before you even get on hormones now, you have to live as your preferred gender role, they say, for 2 years. So if you're very masculine looking and you're a trans woman and you don't fit that expectation of what a woman looks like, where society will be kind of to you, because society is horrible and that is just how it is,
parts of
that
society.
wait for some people could just be too long. Where if they just waited 2 or 3 months and they got on them hormones and then could transition on the hormones, things would probably be better for them. It's creating bigger problems for people. I really, really think it is. I don't like it.
Oh, she doesn't like
I
it.
don't like it.
What does everybody's thoughts now on? I wouldn't say. Yeah, I would probably they're illegal kind of medications that people are getting offline.
Oh, self-med.
Yeah, like self-medicine. So obviously, because we've had all our medication and stuff, and to be it's just gone on a little bit too long, and I just think.
Well, even recently for us, accessing hormones.
Yeah, no, we completely had a shortage, didn't we?
There was a shortage with the pills.
I hate that I can't
Then we
see
got put
everyone's
onto
comments.
patches, and the patches turned us both into monsters, so we had to stop taking the patches. But the long and short of it is, she's back on the hormone pills, and not back on the hormone pills.
I am back on the hormone pills, and
So-
they do make a real difference to your
yeah.
mood.
Yeah.
To
My hair's gonna
like,
get thicker
yeah,
again.
like your hair and all that stuff, and I think that's really
Skin.
important.
Mm-hmm. But this is my thing as well. So it's important if you want to look a certain way and have society accept you a different way. I'm very much of the opinion each to his own, and I'm dancing on drum beat, and I'm gonna clap and I'm gonna say yeah, celebrate you. But if you're a transgender woman, and like I was saying before, you don't fit that society norm, but you're happy with that, then good luck to you. But society will be horrible to you, and it's absolutely shit. Oh my god, I swore. It's like absolutely shit that happens. So
It is shit that it happens, but what?
but if you can do you,
No,
If
yes,
you can
do
do
you,
you.
do you, and be you.
do you and
But
be
don't
you.
get upset when society slaps you in the face, because you know what?
Mhm.
It took it takes a long time
Well,
for everyone to
exactly.
catch up. This has been such a lovely kind of way to say we're back. We're back
Yeah.
next week anyway,
And
from
we could
5
be
p.m. with
chatting
Jordan
for
Gray.
hours and hours and hours. So I think I'll be winding
The
it
next show that we're going to do is going to be next week, just our real talk show, and we're going to be talking about feminization, dilation, and probably dating again.
now. And Jordan's new series, Transaction. Which is
No,
on
no,
Comedy
I'm on about the real talk one that we're doing
Oh, real
Yeah,
talk.
we're interviewing Jordan Gray.
And we're interviewing Jordan Gray
on
as well.
Wednesday from 5 p.m. But thanks very much, guys, for joining us.
Yeah, it's been
Please
good.
like, share, comment, and go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe, because we really want to get YouTube going, and hope to do more videos. And also, if there's any topics you want us to talk about, like, just comment at the bottom and just be like, talk about this, talk
Yeah.
about that.
'Cause we'll talk
Or,
about anything.
I want to know about this, I want to know about that, because you know what? So do we. So, thanks for talking, thanks for listening. I've been Faye. And the
know.
reason I transitioned was more of a sexual indication than I want to wear a yellow dress, like my sister threw us out when I was very little, and that wasn't the reason I was a woman. And she wanted to be a woman because she's a princess.
No, it's just I wanted to be me and I wanted to be free.
I agree.
And that's about it.
See you later,
She
guys.
did as
Bye.
well.